the last time we met each other, we went to see the Queen of Country, went to see lovely Dolly Parton.
Yes, we did.
Yes. And we got to meet her, sort of.
A sort of meeting, meet and greet. We had to queue for about 45 minutes.
It's a long time.
In a tunnel, you know. And I'd been dying to go to the lavatory for ages. So I farted and...
No.
Well...
Miriam understates what she did.
Well, I was irritated, you know.
But she goes, we're standing in the queue, and there's, like, nice people here all with their dolly pins, and she suddenly goes, balls for fart, and it was the loudest fart I've ever heard.
Well, I fart a lot. I think I'm just like that, but I don't know why, but I think it brings people together. I think it's an encouraging human thing to do.
We all do it.
Yeah, we all do it, you know.
Because you're... What's the thing you're having done? Is it a colon...
I've had it done.
Oh, you've had it done?
No, actually, this is... it's a sort of party political broadcast. It's on behalf of colonoscopies. Because it's a wonderful way of checking what you've been eating. And the harm it does to you, but...
Is it easy to check it as it goes in? And what do you get to see it?
Well, what happens is you lie on your side and the doctor puts a lot of tubing up into your arsehole and then it all sort of comes out and he looks at it all the way up and, you know... And it's really worth having done, so please, please do it.
Have you done it?
No, but you're meant to... A guy's meant to do it by 35, 40, apparently.
I don't know why guys should be different. Arseholes are arseholes.
Miriam, now, you were in a television series when you were very early on.
Yes, Crossroads. Well, I remember Crossroads. Does anybody else remember Crossroads?
Yes.
You know what... Well, when I was first starting as an actress, I was called for audition for Crossroads, and they gave me the script, and, you know, I went along, and I was quite nervous, but anyway, as I was waiting to be called in to see the people, I realised that my period had started. And I thought, oh dear, I better fix this. So I went to the ladies' room in the Birmingham studio, and there's a thing on the wall called Dr. Southall's sanitary towels. It was a long time ago, before Tampax and those kind of contraptions. And you put in 2p. I'm explaining.
2p?
Yes.
That was a long time ago.
It was.
Yes.
And you put in 2p and you pulled out a little drawer inside which was a wrapped towel, a wrapped sanitary towel. And so I did this, but unfortunately, not being very adept with my digits, I got my finger caught in the drawer. So it snapped back with my finger in it. It tore my finger quite badly. And, you know, there was blood everywhere and it was just ghastly. And, of course, I still had the script with me, you see. So then, eventually, I was called in for my audition. And as I started to read, I saw that the eyes of the people who were listening to my audition were drawn to the script, which was covered with blood. And trying to explain what had happened, I said, oh, I'm so sorry about the script. The trouble was my period started. Two of them fainted. And I did get the job.
Oh, you're all here now.
We are.
Very good.
I gave them a bit of a fright because I farted just before I came on stage. I'm really sorry. That's why they came out with a bit of a rush.
Make
Did you do...
A lesser performer would have kept that to herself.
Well, I'm really sorry about it.
Well, that's lovely. Listen, lovely to see you all. Now, especially Danny, because we've never had you on the show before, Stanley.
Yeah, and I'm never coming back.
So enjoy it.
Yes, treasure these moments. No, because it's interesting.
I'm just going to sit over here.
This weekend, it was the big Oscars thing, and obviously Oscar nominated for Lovely Bones.
Yes.
So you've been through the whole razzmatazz.
Yeah, through the ringer. Yeah.
Have you been to? Have you?
I should have been nominated, but I wasn't. I was very angry about it. It was a very good film called The Age of Innocence.
Oh, yes.
And I was marvellous in it. But
Yes, you said, I remember.
I was.
No, it was Laurence Scorsese. It was a very posh film.
And the reason that I wasn't nominated was because of Winona Ryder. And I don't like her. I really...
She stole your Oscar nomination.
But what happened was she was nominated as a supporting actress instead of being nominated as a leading actress.
Right, yeah.
And if she'd jolly well kept herself to herself and been a leading actress, they would have nominated me as a supporting.
That bitch.
Absolutely, I was livid.
I've heard she's very gassy as well.
What a cool sofa. So, Will.I.am and MIRIAM. Do you see MIRIAM? GR egg.
I'll take whatever you give me, Graham.
Could I just ask, is it Graham?
That'll do.
Greg, I'm so sorry.
No, Graham's fine.
Greg, could you just stand up a minute?
Yes.
Would you mind?
Yes, certainly.
And can I stand next to you?
We were all standing in order of height backstage. You should have a look at this if Will comes and stands there. I think this is a great visual.
Oh, perfectly put together, this couch. Now, Miriam has a thing. She doesn't like to know who she's coming on with. Because last time you liked Will.I.am, but you didn't know who Will.I.am was, did you?
I actually didn't. And he's charming. He's a most delightful gentleman, really. But unknown to me, that was the thing.
Yes. So how are you doing tonight?
Well...
You'll have seen... Have you ever worked with Dominic? Have you worked with Dominic?
Yes, we have.
No, we haven't, darling, have we?
No, we haven't, actually.
No. But I hope we will.
Yes.
I think I've seen you in The History Boys.
Yes.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, good.
That's good.
And I can't remember you, but I thought you were...
Very memorable.
No, did you see Mamma Mia? He was very good in Mamma Mia. Did you see that?
That was a dreadful film. Did you think that was a good film?
I can't possibly say that.
Yes.
It was fun, Miriam. It was the film of Mamma Mia.
It was a very popular film with people.
Yes. That's all we can hope for, Miriam, really. We dream of making things that are popular with people. Now, I'm guessing you don't sugarcoat things. Do you get starstruck when you meet people?
I do sometimes. I remember when I was young, and I met Laurence Olivier.
Wow.
That was... I used to collect autographs at the stage door, you know, and he came out, and I remember so distinctly that I started to in my knickers. I could feel it. I could actually... I went all funny. That is true. Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
Wherever we thought that story was going. That isn't it.
I honestly don't think I've ever been more uncomfortable in my life. I think that's the worst moment of my life.
Oh, dear.
It can only get better. So.
Well, that's a lovely story, Miriam. Thank you for sharing. I think that's in the compilation. That's great. You turned 80. Why did you wait so long? Were you waiting for people to die before you wrote this book? What was the...
The spur, as I told you earlier,
was that I was paid an enormous amount of money. And that's why I wrote it. I'm not a writer. I'm not a writer. I'm an actress, and I don't know, because of your show, people know who I am. It's because of being on Graham Norton, and I've said some rude things. You may not have seen them in America, and that's, you know, people said I could write a book. And I did.
And you did write a book, and I'll talk about how beautiful it is in a moment, but I just wondered, now that you told those stories, and you tell stories about, you know, people in your past, people at university, have any of them cropped up now that they're in your book?
Well, you know, amazingly, I have occasionally been unfaithful. Not often, and a long time ago. But one of those ladies turned up actually 2 nights ago in Yeovil.
Goodness.
In Somerset. Do you know it?
I do.
Know Somerset. And it was quite alarming and lovely in a way, you know, but sort of there she was.
And did you write about her in the book?
Yes.
And kindly?
Of course. Of course.
So she was happy?
Yes, I think she was. But I want to say very strongly that adultery is stupid and you mustn't do it. Don't do it. That is really true. It's gambling with your happiness.
And it'll catch up with you in Yeovil.
And it'll catch
And now, Daniel Radcliffe, presumably you are familiar with Miriam's potty mouth because... are you? Because you were in Harry Potter, but did you actually work together?
Yeah,
Yes, we
absolutely.
did.
But I don't remember. I've been told there was a swear jar involved on set, but I can't remember that. I don't even remember you swearing a lot in front of...
I was probably careful when it was you,
Okay.
but when, you know, with the other kids, I didn't bother.
He's the lead. Yeah.
But I was just talking backstage, if that's what you call that funny little
right, Miriam.
grubby area. And apparently it's 20 years since Harry Potter came out.
Since we started filming the first
one.
And your balls have dropped since then, I can tell you that.
It's a relief to us all.
I hope so. Yeah, because they're just wee kids then.
We get it, yes.
It's just, yeah.
But it's interesting because Professor Sprout, which, you know, you were in the second film and the last film.
Yeah, I should have been in all of them.
Yes.
And that was a grave oversight, and I'm holding you responsible.
I told them.
But anyway, it was wonderful to be in the 2 that I was in, and I'm very proud of it.
But you do get recognised as Professor Sprout.
I do. I mean, I think I've changed since then, but people do recognise me. And funnily enough, in Lithuania,
Lithuania?
Have you come just to see Professor Sprout?
I don't think so.
Are the films called Professor Sprout and the Death Reality?
No, but I was mobbed in Lithuania. Maybe because I was Jewish, I don't know. I'm the only one left.
Sorry.
Stop cheering now. But Miriam Margolyes brings us, I think, are we calling it volume 2 of your memoirs?
Well, I suppose so.
Yes.
You call it what you like, as long as you buy it. That's the thing.
It's called Oh, Miriam, and it's out in hardback now. And so it's a slightly different Miriam in this book, I
Do you
would say.
think?
Well, you're not quite as rude, is that fair?
Well, I've done a lot of rudery, and
Yes.
I've did that in book 1. But I remember things. It's just when you're 82, you don't cocksuck anymore. You don't wank, you know.
You don't?
I don't. Oh, no. Well, I know you do, but...
I told you this is the best show in the world.
It's my first time here. I can't wait. This is great.
I wanted to talk about the other more serious part of my life.
Yes.
So that people don't just think I'm a maniac, but a real person.
Yeah. And in the book, you talk about politics and you tell stories and you talk about... And actually, I misunderstood. You talk about your appearance on the Today programme.
When I didn't know that the mics were up.
Yes.
Well, I didn't. That's the absolute truth. I would never swear on Radio 4, ever. Because Radio 4, to me, it's a temple. You know, it's a middle-class temple. I'm middle-class, you know. We're trapped in England in these classes, and I really want it tall like that, you know? I fucking can't. So there it was. I was waiting to do a eulogy for Robbie Coltrane, and Jeffrey Hunt was the... Jeremy Hunt. I'm so worried about names. And I didn't know that I was going to sit in the same seat as him afterwards because he made his comments to the radio and then he left. And I was asked to come in and sit down. And I sat in the chair and it was warm from his... derriere. And then when I talked about Robbie, whom I loved, Robbie Coltrane, and I got up and Justin, the announcer, said something about, I bet you didn't think you'd sit in the same chair as Jeremy Hunt. And I said, no, I didn't. And he said, well, what did you say to him when you saw him outside? And I said, well, I said, you know, you've got a difficult job, best of luck. But what I really wanted to say was, you fucking bastard, you arsehole. And he said, no, we just better get you out of the studio. And I didn't know the mic was up. I didn't know.
No, because I thought you must have.
I didn't.
You were genuinely upset by it.
I was shocked.
Yes.
I was appalled at my own rudeness, and I was appalled. And I would like to make that clear.
Yes.
So, please forgive me, audience of the Radio 4. There won't be any of those here, because... No. A different kind of person.
Yeah, it's a different sort of thing.
But it really did... It was upsetting.
Because I think there may be a theme to this evening's chat. Because you've entertained people on planes. You were doing a film... Was it in Morocco you were doing a film and you were travelling back?
Yes, it was Poor Little Rich Girl. And it was a difficult shoot, and everybody was a bit depressed and tired, you know, which you can get on films. And I thought if I exposed my breasts, it would cheer people up. In those days, they were curvy. They had some life in them. They're a sort of Salvation Army now, you know, raising the fallen, so to speak. And I didn't mean to be offensive at all. I meant to be, you know, caring and loving. And I just took off my bra and streaked down the middle of the plane, right through, first class, right through to economy, you know. And, it was wonderful. It was wonderful.
Did you get a round of applause?
Actually, no. There were just shocked faces. But I will do anything to cheer people up.
That's very nice of you.
It's all right. See you after.
In LA, because you're working with Americans...
Yes.
Are there many words that they don't understand that you use and vice versa?
Almost everything they don't understand.
We look the
There's some
same.
nice Americans in the audience. Go easy. They flew in special.
They're here.
Don't make them leave in tears.
No, I'm not anti-American. I just want them to learn things.
And suddenly the chat show turned into a rally.
It is a challenge, though, some days, isn't it? I mean, I sometimes throw, like, little ones into the equation just to see how they cope with... Oh, wabbit. Deal with that, American.
What's wabbit?
Well, that's like a Scottish word for, like, I don't feel very well.
I thought it was pillywally.
Well, you would maybe look a wee bit peely-wally, but you would feel
wabbit.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. I didn't know that.
But then there's the whole fanny thing.
Very confusing.
Very confusing.
Yes.
I mean, I still giggle. Oh, look at her fanny. Ooh. Her fanny bag, her fanny... Ooh.
So fanny for us is front bottom.
Yeah.
And for them it's
bottom.
Bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
How did that happen?
That was a very confused pilgrim. It'd been a long voyage. This'll do as a fanny. Now they're all Oh, fannies. This year, I can't believe that Melissa Leo, who got Best Supporting Actress, should have been yours. She's the one in the white there.
Yeah.
She swore at the Oscars.
I heard that. She said the F word. The F word.
No, but what I can't believe is it's the first time someone swore at the Oscars in 83 years.
That is surprising.
Is that really true?
Yeah, because you think someone would swear at some point.
I was actually... I'm sorry to talk about myself, but it's all
It's
right.
a chat show. It's a chat show.
It's a chat show, and I haven't got anything to sell except myself.
No,
and,
that's
you know,
fine.
so that's the best one can.
How much?
To you, almost nothing. I was the first person to say that word on television, and it was in University Challenge.
Is this true, Miriam?
It's absolutely true. I know most people
What's
think
that
it was
university?
Ken...
I don't know what that is. What is that?
It's a quiz show in which universities are pitted against each other in general knowledge questions.
It's like Wheel of Fortune, but for grown-ups.
I see.
It's incredibly hard. It's really tough questions.
Were you on that? Who were you competing for?
Newnham College, Cambridge.
And you brought shame on their name.
I did.
So it would have been Margolyes, Newman College, and then...
Well, I got a question wrong, and I went... and they bleeped me out. So you saw my face going... Nothing actually came out.
Did it look as if the team below were doing something untoward to you?
I didn't see.
But you did tweet some really good pictures of yourself at the Jubilee celebrations. There's you with Will One Is.
I love the fact that you've out-royaled him with your outfit there as well.
Who is that gentleman?
That's Prince William.
It
Come
never
on,
is.
Miriam.
Is that really Prince William?
Yes.
Not the black one.
No, the black one's you. I know. I didn't realise that was Prince William.
Yeah, it's Prince William. Yeah.
But he's bald in that picture.
No, it was a flash because it was this phone. So a lot of things are getting lost up there in the top.
Yeah.
Like, you can't really see my top of my head there either. As a matter of fact,
That's
that whole
true.
entire black area is my afro.
Because Miriam, you played, I was going to say a monkey, you played a rabbit in, but no, the Caramel ad.
Cadbury's bunny, yes.
Yes.
Yes, a
Were you the
long
voice?
time ago, yeah.
Oh, that beautiful, smooth, caramel-like
That's
voice.
it, that's it, yeah.
Oh, lovely.
That was Miriam.
That was me.
Was it Take It Easy, Mr...
Take it easy, Mr. Rabbit. Something like that. Oh. Yeah.
And in a really creepy poll, that rabbit came third sexiest animated character of all time.
Really?
Yeah. Like, who decided to... We should find out which animated characters we find sexiest.
I want to know who beat me, yes.
Betty... Is it Betty Boo? Betty Boop?
Yeah, Jessica
Betty
Rabbit,
Boop.
she's quite
I bet Jessica Rabbit was second and you were third.
Not bad, though.
It's not bad. It's not bad. Yeah. Have you chatted out the back a bit?
Very briefly.
Okay.
I don't know you. We don't know each other,
No,
do we?
we don't.
No, not yet. But I'm very pleased to meet you.
Well, it's
very,
nice to meet you too.
Very pleased. And I think you're lovely.
I think you're lovely too.
Thank you.
That's good. There we leave our show. While it's all going well, let's stop.
She didn't say I look lovely.
She was very pleased to meet you.
That's true.
Yes.
What the do you want?
We're the big franchises, because Alan Cumming, you did do the X-Men one.
Yes, I was in that.
And I believe, didn't you say at some point, I will never do... Oh, there you are. That you would never do a Comic-Con. And then
I did.
You did do a Comic-Con.
No, I did. Well, no. Since I did one, I said I'd never do another one.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Do you,
Okay.
do you actually walk away with a suitcase full of money?
Yes, you get paid in cash.
You get paid in cash.
So I did one called. I'd never done it before, and I did one that was called Collector Mania, and the emphasis was on the mania. and I was like, all right, and it was lots of money, and I'd fly me and my husband over. I saw friends in London, la la la. But then, guess where it was? A shopping mall in Milton Keynes.
And how many people? Like,
well, it was lots. There was like a Hobbit next to me. There was a Star Wars person next to me.
still is. I'm sorry.
And I met the real Uhura, the original Uhura, and there was the Chewbacca.
Uhura?
Yes. Uhura, you know.
Star Trek.
Star Trek. Uhura. And,
Can you understand what he's saying?
Oh.
No, because your accent is really strong.
So sorry, I can't understand you.
I know. That is... I'm going to talk like you now.
Oh, yeah.
He left England to get away from that kind of thing.
No, but I remember when you didn't have such a strong accent.
What?
No, honestly.
Where?
In America.
Well, I was maybe doing an American accent.
Ah, that might be. You were.
Like, was I acting?
Maybe it's that. But it's fascinating, isn't it? Don't you think?
Me?
Because
yes.
you're Irish, you're Scottish, you're English, and I'm posh. Sorry, go on.
So everybody was there, all these different people from all different films and everything like that. And it was in a shopping mall in Milton Keynes, and you were in these rows, sort of, you know, you were behind these desks, and they would say things like, Alan Cumming, Nightcrawler, and blah, blah, at number 13. Good time to go to him now. The line's down to 6 people. It was just mortifying. And then you had to wait and get paid, and you got paid in cash. I decided I didn't like it. I didn't like being in Milton Keynes, and I felt a little sort of... I felt a bit whore. I felt a bit of a whore. And people would come dressed as me and X-Men to be... And I didn't know what to say to them. And so... And they were nice and everything. But anyway, I got the money, and I went back to the hotel, and I got Grant, my husband... I took my top off, and I got Grant, my husband... I put all the money... It was like, you know, when you rob a bank, it was in little things like that, little thing. And I put all the money all over me like this, and I made him take a photo. I said, I never want to forget what a whore I am, right?
Whore, yes. Since you were last here, Miriam Margolyes, 80 years old. Congratulations. Happy birthday. Thank you. Yes. Were you able to celebrate?
Yes, I was. I mean, I don't drink or anything silly like that, but I had a Zoom, which was actually rather ghastly.
I was one of the little squares on an enormous screen.
It was, you know, everybody talks at once. That's the trouble.
And so, Miriam, in your beautiful voice, said, I'd like you all to shut up, please, while I speak. Remember?
Now, you know Paul.
I do know you, but I haven't seen you for a very long time.
I know, a very long time. We worked together on Romeo and Juliet.
You were gorgeous, and you're pretty good now.
Thank you. You too.
It's lovely to see you again.
It's great to see you, too.
Who did you play? You were
Paris.
Paris.
Paris, that's
Remember?
right.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank God somebody remembered.
Yeah, no, it was a real thrill.
But, Miriam, you haven't worked with Ron Howard.
No, we haven't even met. We just met backstage.
I'm really glad to come on this show because you meet important people. You were definitely important, so I hope you'll use me one of these days.
The CV in her handbag.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
And have you ever... Just a minute.
Yes, all right.
It begins.
Have you ever heard of me?
Yes, I have.
You honestly have?
I honestly have.
OK, that's good.
When had you heard of her?
Harry Potter.
Oh, yes.
And I'm working on a project that I can't really talk about, but it's an animated project. And in all honesty, you were referenced as a potential cartoon character. As a type.
Oh,
yeah.
That's quite flattering, isn't it?
Yes. It's a very important character. Yeah, very.
I'm thrilled.
Great character.
Thank you.
And it's a job.
Well, no, somebody else has the part.
Oh, I see. We're looking for a Miriam type. And you may get some advice from Miriam, because Miriam, of course, playing lots of parts, you've done this. You did.
Well, I was cleverer than you.
Go on. It does sound like it.
No, because I don't bother with all the other stuff, you know, the cine and all that. I did it right then and there, changing from me to the person and then to the next person.
I'll have to do that as well, but...
Do it.
No, I will,
It's a great test of acting.
Yes.
Do you act or sing?
Some would say I act and sing. I think there's always a bit of acting
there is.
in life anyway. I think when you're performing on stage, you know, you are... You know, obviously, the way I get treated out of
my drag to the way I get treated is night and day different. So you know it comes with a charge, so you're always on. As soon as you put the hat on, you're working.
Yeah.
Wherever you are.
How old are you?
Very old, 62.
Honestly, I can't believe
Oh, it's like Dorian Gray.
What? Yes.
I was thinking when she was saying, I was like, that picture. I love a filter.
Bloody brilliant.
Thank you.
Anyway, we're supposed to be talking about you. So,
No, we're not. Have you any tips?
well, the thing is that you live in the moment.
Yeah.
You have to live right in the moment.
Yeah.
And don't muddy it. Be that character and don't let any bleed through from any of the other characters.
Living in LA, being in kind of big hit show, I mean, people must treat you very differently.
Not really, no.
Oh, but you're going to something like you're going to like the Golden Globes. I mean, that must be.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still at a stage where I'm deeply excited when I see like a famous person like standing behind Drew Barrymore in the queue for the toilet at the Golden Globes, and it's a bit like, oh my God, that looks like Drew Barrymore. It is Drew Barrymore standing there, that close that I could touch, and knowing what she was about to do in like 5 minutes.
You couldn't be sure. You couldn't be sure.
Well, true.
Unless you did that thing that Italian men do and go.
But yeah, I mean, I sort of had to be told to sort of do things like the whole manicure and the pedicure thing. I mean, I was told, so you're gonna have a mani-pedi, and I went, I don't even know what language you're speaking to me. That's from Tingo. I don't know what that is. And then it was like a manicure and a pedicure, and I was like, no, I'll just slap a wee bit of polish on, I'll be fine, it'll be all right. And she was like, no, you're gonna have a manicure and a pedicure. You're not going like that. And I was like, all right, okay then. So I ended up quite enjoying it because it made me sit still for an hour. I'm not very good at sitting and doing nothing, so I invariably have like smeared nails and things. But it made me sort of sit there. But funny I should be talking about the manicure and pedicure. I now have a fucking fungal toe because of the manicure and the pedicure.
Oh no.
What, you caught something?
I just did that there so that could get bleeped. One for Christine.
So what, you caught it off what? Like the water or
well,
something?
I think from like a little tool that was being used in my nail, and I've got like a kind of tail. I've got
quite a fungal infection.
I've got a nail that kind of looks like a sort of dinosaur's foot.
Well, you know, one of the problems about Hollywood is those spa baths that you go in.
Right.
You know, you should never go in a spa bath.
What is a spa bath? What, with your whole body in a spa
You know
bath?
where people
or
go
like a hot tub?
A hot tub.
Yeah.
Terribly dangerous.
I can imagine, because I don't imagine they clean the water.
They don't,
in those
and
things.
people do things in those hot tubs.
I can imagine.
You can't imagine. I mean, you just can't. I would steer really clear of all that stuff.
Yeah, I know.
No, I'm quite serious.
No, I know.
Because germs, especially vaginal germs, flourish in hot water. If you have cold...
I'm saying, I'm really not regretting the gay thing right now. Gemma, you get to do your natural Cockney voice in this, don't you?
I do. I get to do my my old accent before RADA accent, which is great. But then actually, she becomes she speaks very, very well at the end because she's an actress and she picks it up very easily.
But when you went home with your new RADA voice, Gravesend were not keen, were they?
No, well, the family weren't. You know, you can't get away with it with my family. They just put me right in my place.
I bet they're very proud of you, darling.
They are very proud
I bet
of
they
me,
are,
yes.
so they should be.
Yeah, they are.
But it's different when you're working class, you know, and you come back speaking posh. It does set people's teeth on edge.
Yeah, it does.
Know. Because I have a posh voice, and I wish I didn't, but I just do. And
you can change your accent. You should do that.
I
Just,
do.
You know, choose an
always
accent
do.
a day.
I always, if I need something in the street, I always become Scottish.
I've got to ask you, what do you need in the street?
You never know. Well, I mean, the time or a road or a garage, you know, something like
yes.
that.
Why
Scottish? I tell you why, and this is true. Scottish is a classless sound, and it's friendly. Excuse me, could you tell me where the nearest garage is? I don't know where I am at the moment. I'm just slightly lost here. Could you help me out? You know? And, it's friendly. It's friendly.
May have rumbled you now, but that's a Scottish woman, I hope. Mining people's lives for drama and comedy. Miriam Margolyes, things happen to you. Like, is it your house near Dover?
Oh, yes. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up, because I do rent my house. And if you're interested...
Two other people. I mean, she owns
other people. And it's the nearest house to France, which is very important in this story. And it's £425 a week, and it sleeps 6 people for 7 nights. It's clean.
Is there a cleaner?
Yes, yes. Anyway, one day I got a call from the police, and they said, "Are you the owner of the gun emplacement?" And I said, "Yes." And they said, "Are you aware that it's been used as a drop for criminals to get rid of their drugs, or, you know, it's a drug drop." I believe that's the phrase. And I said, "Well, of course I didn't know. What do you mean?" And they said, "Well, people have rented it. They were a gang from Liverpool, I think. And they took my house and they dropped the drugs in the bay, and there was a helicopter that came on the roof. It's a flat roof, you see. And they had cocaine. They had something like 13 million pounds worth of...
What? No, it wasn't like a little thing. This was a massive...
What? A massive... 13 million...
Jesus Christ.
Of cocaine.
That's street value.
No, I've never
not
taken
street value. That was like wholesale.
Oh, wholesale. Yeah. Listen, it's wholesale, of course. Well, of course, I was horrified, because I didn't know. I mean, I don't have anything to do with the people that rent it.
No.
I just take the money, you know.
Could have got more.
And I could get more for it, because it's really lovely, actually. But what was upsetting to me was when it was reported, of course, in the Daily Mail, all the people online said, "Oh, she must be in it. You know, she's part of the gang."
Oh,
what?
yeah.
No, they did. And they were calling me Miriam Escobar.
But I have noticed, of late, you do seem to have cornered the market in that kind of, you know, that sort of urbane gay man.
Yeah, I know. That's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, you have. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you discover that you were good at that?
Well, that's a long story.
This feels like a conversation in a chat room.
Right. Yeah. If you'll just excuse us for a moment. You know, I don't know. When I was cast in the Devil Wears Prada, which I heard recently that you auditioned for the role. Did I hear that?
You know how you feel about Winona Ryder?
Did you audition for that part?
Yes, I did! I put the work in.
But
I spent my life preparing.
I know.
I think I had more chance of getting her role.
But just so you know, I was probably the last actor in Christendom that they went to. They were shooting the movie already. They had tried to cast everyone and anyone except me. And in the end...
You're not making it better,
right.
Sandy.
I'm trying to make it better. I'm trying to make it better.
Street had been offered the role.
But what they said to me was, it was between you and me.
Yeah.
It's true. And Winona Ryder.
You're gonna need a bigger shot.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I know. I don't know why. You know, why the urbane... I don't know why.
But you got that very late in the day, so you'd know...
Yeah, they were shooting the movie already. I had 3 days
Yeah, but you're not
prepare.
gay, and sometimes people who aren't gay are better at being gay than people who are.
Sharp.
It's a shame you're not gay, because you'd be so good at it.
I know. But it's true, isn't it?
No, I know what you mean, yes. There's a certain... Yes. Distance. There's a distance.
An objectivity.
There's an objectivity. There's a perspective that maybe you wouldn't have.
I don't like playing lesbians. I am a lesbian, but I don't like playing them. I loathe kissing women, for example, on stage or on screen. Absolutely loathe it.
Right.
And I tell you why, and I'm quite serious. It's because I don't want them to think that I fancy them. Can you understand
No,
this?
of course I can. Yeah. Well, that's exactly why I don't play lesbians on stage.
But what is that? I'm nervous of asking you this. But what...
No, please don't be.
Okay.
Because I will answer.
I know, that's what makes me nervous. Okay, what is the story about you meeting an American man in Cambridge?
When I was a student?
Yes.
Yeah. That was before I was a lesbian. I was just... I was sorting myself out.
Yes.
And, as you do, at university. And I was on my bike, because we cycled.
Over the cobbles, I would imagine.
Dyke on a bike, and we stopped at the traffic lights. And I looked to the left or the right, whatever it was, and there was a car, an open car, with an American soldier inside. And something crazy took hold of me then. You know that feeling.
I've got it right now.
And I said, would you like to follow me to my college and I'll suck you off?
You knew you recognised her from somewhere.
Exactly. I was still in knee pants at the time. Anyway, go ahead. Finish that story.
I think we know what happened.
Right. Yeah.
The really interesting thing was that he afterwards, and I should explain, I thought I was being a good girl because a bad girl would have had intercourse.
With a random stranger from the street. Sure, for sure.
Well, I still think it was the right thing to do.
I'm sure he felt the same way.
Anyway, after it was all over, he said, could I come back next week? Because I've got some friends here.
I'd like to be on one of your shows that will actually air.
You've also worked with the biggest action star of them all, not Sylvester Stallone, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yes, I worked with Arnold Schwarzenegger, which was a horrible experience.
Why so horrible, Miriam?
Well, the real reason is because, because he didn't fancy me, he didn't think I mattered, and I really resent that attitude. And secondly, because he farted in my face. And that was when I was lying on the ground, you know, in the part. I was playing my role, and I was Satan's sister, and I had to be killed lying on the floor with a glass table slicing my throat.
Yes.
So I was doing all that, and you know, it's difficult. You can't get out of the way when you're stuck like that.
No.
And he thought it was hysterical. He just... Arnold...
So he did it on purpose? He just squatted in your face and...
Absolutely on purpose. On purpose.
Oh, I'm thinking about the man. Oh, he eats nothing but protein. Is it true, Ron, you were going to do a Harry Potter?
No, I wasn't going. There was a moment when there was a kind of a list of candidates, and they reached out to me at that point to talk about it, and I read the books, and the books were fantastic. But in all honesty, I have just finished doing The Grinch with Jim Carrey, and that was a fun, fascinating, but unbelievably challenging and difficult production. And I just sort of said, I don't think I want to be in fantasy world again for another few years. And I wanted to do A Beautiful Mind, which was a great opportunity and a different kind of a story. But then, I mean, it became Harry Potter. I knew it was good, and maybe that would have been our opportunity. I mean, but
you missed Professor Sprout.
I did.
Yes,
I did. But
honestly, it's not the most important moment in my life.
No.
Tell you that.
In lockdown, did you finally get to watch it?
No. It's not my kind of thing, I'm not interested in fantasy. I did it, as I do everything, for the money. And that is true.
Fair enough.
That's true.
And do you see it, or do you just go in and read some stuff?
No, they do the vocal track first, and then they animate to the vocal track.
Because you've done loads of them. You've done what? You were in Babe, you were the mother in Babe, the dog mother.
I was in Happy Feet.
Who were you in Happy Feet?
I can't remember. Was I Tamara?
Did you play a penguin?
I don't know. I never saw it, you see. I don't know what it was.
Everyone was a penguin.
Everybody was a penguin.
You didn't do much research for your character.
No, I didn't.
You forgot to sound cold.
Yeah. I wish you'd told me that when I was...
You thought all that flapping was psychological.
Yeah. And I did Flushed Away.
Oh, yes. Who were you in Flushed Away?
I don't know what I was in that.
It was great, Flushed Away.
A piece of shit, I should think.
Talking of that, tell us the story about when you went to Martin Jarvis's house.
Oh, it's so embarrassing. I hope this is not going to offend people. Actually, I hope it is. But I know it sounds as if I just talk about nothing but shit, but I was dying to go to the lavatory. And I was invited to a lovely dinner party in Los Angeles, and it was Martin Jarvis, who's a dear friend, and his wife, the hosts, and Richard Harris's son, Jared, was there, whom I've not met before, and was rather keen.
Very nice.
And he's lovely, and I was very excited about that. And so, when I arrived, I said to Roz, Martin's wife, Roz, I'm dying to go to the lavatory. Can I go first, and then I'll join the group, so to speak. So I flew into the loo, and I had this enormous shit, and then I flushed the loo and washed my hands, and it didn't go down. It didn't go down, it wasn't going down. And then I made this terrible mistake. I flushed the loo again. And it not only didn't go down, it sort of bubbled up to meet me, And it was a horrific... I mean, it didn't... What I was afraid of was that it would surge over the bowl. And,
Surf away. Here's Miriam now.
But the thing is, I'm such a coward. I didn't know what to do, so I backed out of the loo, closed the door, and I went in, and instead of saying, how do you do, it's lovely to meet you, I've always wanted to meet you, and all that sort of thing, I said, I've blocked the loo with my shit and I don't know what to do. That was my introduction to Gareth.
But now, in terms of, getting in trouble, Boy George, it strikes me you're still quite unfiltered.
Yeah. Marilyn always talks about my friend Marilyn always talks about my perfectly crafted public image. I'm like, where? Yours, maybe, but not mine. I am unfiltered. I like to be honest. I like to be myself, and then I've got no one else to blame if I say something. I feel like I'm one of the last people left with an opinion. in my business.
Yeah.
Because everyone writes on Twitter, these are not my opinions. And I'm like, no, these are my opinions, absolutely. And they might change tomorrow. I may not have to, you know, why do we have to make everyone stick to their opinions? Because opinions should be changed.
Yeah.
Maybe not at 82, because you know what you want and you sound like you're very decisive.
I am decisive, but I can change my mind.
It's a beautiful thing to go, actually, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm wrong.
Yeah.
It is.
A lot of the time, shockingly.
Well, you know this thing about trans. Now, people always say, oh, you mustn't talk about trans. Well, fuck that. I'm going to talk about it. I was very keen on grammar. And so when people started talking about pronouns and that they wanted them and not he, she, I thought, what the fuck, what are they talking about? It's clear, it's grammar, it's the structure of language. But I met a wonderful actress in Australia, Zoe Tarakis, do you know? I mean, she's a brilliant actress. Yeah. And she's trans, and she had a discussion with me about it, and she said, what does it matter to you if you can make somebody happy by calling them they instead of he or she? Why not do it? And I thought, that's right. It doesn't matter about grammar. If you can make someone happy and give them a sense of themselves, then do it.
Absolutely.
And so I'm now somebody who uses they and all the rest of it. Whatever they want me to say,
yes,
I'll say it.
Because I have to say, one of the things I'm really impressed by you, when you do your travel programmes, particularly that one when you went around Australia in a van, you would end up in situations and sometimes you said things that people didn't want to hear. But then what was amazing was that you listened to them. You were very kind of open to what they were saying to you.
But you should be.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
You should be.
Yeah.
And I mean, you do that. You listen to people.
I do.
And you react. You react. But it's wonderful to do that. And when you get the chance to travel and talk to people, I think it's a marvellous thing. You know, when you're my age, and, you know, you've a long way to go yet before you are, but when you do documentaries and you meet people that way, it's fabulous.
Yeah, yeah.
Have you got a foreskin?
Loads of them. I collect them.
Well, you know, there's that cream now that you can get. They make. Because foreskin.
Can I just say that shout out to your daughter's in? I thought there wouldn't be time. There will. No, do go on, Alan.
There's a potion that you could get for your face that's made from foreskins.
Why?
Yes.
I wonder what they did with them.
Yeah. To send them off and, you know...
Well, I'm feeling a bit divided about foreskins, actually.
Why?
Because men are dirty, and they don't clean round the rim.
Oh, Miriam.
They don't. I'm sorry. Do you know the word smegma?
Oh, my God.
Well...
Sharon, are there any other members of your family that you'd like to give a shout-out to? Because I have a feeling your daughter may not be watching this now. Lots of the stories you've told on the show are in here. I was particularly pleased that the first story you ever told on the show, about 20 years ago, is in the book. It's the one where you park on a double yellow line for a few moments. Do you know the story I mean?
Oh, yes, yes. Well, that had its repercussions, of course, because, well, I mean, I parked on a double yellow line in Shaftesbury Avenue. It was the day of the state opening of Parliament, and I rushed up to give an audio tape, because, you know, I do audio tapes, to my agent, and I came downstairs. There was a policeman pasting a parking ticket on my windscreen, and I was just furious, because I'd only been there for a minute. And so, you know, I tore it off the windscreen, and I said, "You've got a dick that small." Because I thought the best thing is to insult him as quickly as possible.
Of course.
And he took umbrage, didn't like it, and he arrested me for breach of the peace and parking on a double yellow line. And then he called for help from other policemen, and there were lots about because it was the state opening of Parliament, and, you know, they're mingling around. And so I was taken in a police car to Bow Street Police Station. and there I was arraigned, and they said, empty your handbag. And I had a few things in my handbag, and one of them was a packet of peppermints. But they're wrapped in silver paper, you see, and that the detective in charge thought that it was drugs. And he said, you know, what have we got here, then? That's interesting. And I said, it's just a packet of peppermints, officer. And he said, no, I think we better check you out, matron. And he got the matron to come and put me in a room, privately. And I knew, because I was sharp, that she was going to give me an internal examination. I just knew that. Nothing had been said, but I knew it. So when she locked the door, she went out for a bit, I took all my clothes off immediately. Well, you would, you know, if you know you're going to be examined. And she came back in and she said, you've been here before. And I said, I have not been here before. She said, yes, you have. How did you know to take your clothes off? And I said, well, I know you're going to examine me, aren't you? They called you matron, so I knew something was afoot. She said, anyway, bend down or lie on the couch or something, and she examined me, my front body and my back body. And, of course, they thought I wouldn't like it. But, you know, I'm gay, I have to tell you that. And, of course, it was as if all my Christmases had come at once.
Now, talking of Italian men, you both have homes in Italy. Do you see so much in common? Forget your careers, you can talk about that. Yeah. Because they're not that far away from each other, the homes, are they?
No, they're not. No, because yours is in Umbria.
That's right.
And mine is
Siena.
The Umbrian border, near Umbria. So...
Put that in your sat-nav and find them. Have you made the effort with the lingo? Have you learnt Italian?
Well, I went to Italian night classes about a year ago, which I actually, frankly, thought I was doing rather well. But when we used to have to go around the class and do the my name is, I would like a glass of red wine, important things like that, and I would be like... voglio un bicchiere di vino rosso, per favore. And she was like, oh, my God, you are frightening me. Oh, my, you sound so scary. You're shouting at me. So I think I was going, I want a glass of red wine, please.
And do you think it's true what they say about Italian men? Have you had run-ins with Italian men?
Well, the nearest I've got to an Italian man is... when I was much younger and I used to wear skirts, they used to lie on the floor in the lifts to look at my skirt. That's absolutely true. Really? Really. I'm sure that's what they were doing. And I remember, it's all coming back to me now, as the skunk said when the wind changed, I remember being in an Italian bus and a man frotting against me.
A man whatting?
Frotting. It's a very useful word, F-R-O-T-T-I-N-G, frotting. It means sexually rubbing.
Someone else would frot you. You wouldn't frot
I wouldn't
yourself.
frot anybody. And he was rubbing against me.
Oh, dear.
No,
So
it's sort of
a happy ending, or...?
I'm not sure. I didn't look. I didn't check.
Your stop might have come before that.
It happened to me once in London, actually. I'm warming to my theme, and I remember being on the tube, and a chap pushed his erection into my bottom. you about it because it's a long time ago, you know.
Yes.
It was like, I think it was last Tuesday or something. I thought that the only way to stop it was to call attention to it very loudly. And I did. I said, will you take your cock out of my eye? And that is true. And he did.
I don't want to put you on the spot, but is there a little bit of one of the women you could do for us? Is that too awful?
No,
to
I'd
ask you
love to do
Oh,
so.
fine,
I'd
okay.
love to.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah, what fun. Well, one of the characters that he invented was this midwife. And in Victorian days, midwives... Are there any midwives here?
Clearly.
Well, his midwife was a drunk. And...
Funnily enough, nothing has changed.
But they also laid out corpses. They had two jobs. Midwives, they did both.
Oh.
And Mrs. Gamp, who's the one that I play, was a drunken midwife, and she liked to talk about herself, but she pretended that it was Mrs. Harris, her friend, who was talking about her. And she said, when Gamp was summoned to his long home, and I seen him lying in the hospital with a penny piece on each eye and his wooden leg under his left arm, I thought I should have fainted away, but I bore up. If it wasn't for the nerve a little sip of liquor gives me, I could never go through with what I sometimes has to do. As I said to my friend, Mrs. Harris, at the very last case as ever I acted in, which it was but a young person. Mrs. Harris, I says, leave the bottle on the chimney piece and don't ask me to take none, but let me put my lips to it when I'm so disposed, and I will do everything I've been engaged to do according to the best of my ability. Thank you very much.
You are a marvel, Miriam Margolyes. A marvel. Greta and Sarah, you haven't been here before.
No.
No. But are you familiar with the work of Miriam Margolyes?
Yes.
Yes.
OK, good. That's good.
You're Australian, aren't you?
Ta-da!
Yeah. That's great.
I am not American at all. Yeah.
Wow. I just heard it then when she said...
It's not a strong Australian accent. But
it's not strong, but you're there, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
Oh,
You're
fuck
Australian
this
too.
stuff. I am.
You are.
Did you vote in the
I did.
referendum? Good
I
girl.
did.
Good girl. You voted yes. You voted no?
No, oh, as in not... Yes, I voted...
Reassure me, you voted yes.
I'm completely confused about what you were asking. Yes, I 100% voted yes.
Good,
Absolutely
that's
voted yes.
Phew.
Goodness.
It could have been a very long evening.
No, it's horrible. I'd have had to leave.
No, I absolutely voted yes.
Good for you.
And I believe there's some Boy George love in the sofa as well.
Yes, it's
Oh,
true.
well, everybody loves him. He's gorgeous.
Not everybody.
No, of course they do. Well, fuck them if they don't. Yeah.
But Boy George, very popular in Australia.
Super popular.
Just came back from there. Love Australia. It's like my second home.
Oh.
I wish I'd move it closer, though. That's the only thing, because it's amazing.
Oh, my God, same. So far away.
But your trip did seem dominated by the toilet.
Well, this sounds like my favourite show ever.
Well, look, I'm nearly 75, and you can't hang on to it as well as you can at your age. So it becomes important to be able to get to a toilet when you want to.
Is everything okay right now?
If I start to fidget, get worried.
All right.
Yes, I mean, I think everybody would feel the same. You know, you want to be able to get to a toilet.
Yes.
And in India, if you can get to a toilet, it's not always a toilet you want to get to. You put it like that, because it's a dirty hole in the ground with 2 footprints and not much cover and lots of flies and on the wall and everything. It's not pleasant. But if you're in a hotel or somewhere like that, of course, it's absolutely as it would be in the West.
Why are there 2 footprints?
One for each foot.
I
Painted a lovely picture with words, Miriam. Is it true you're doing an all-sung-through episode of Ugly Betty?
Well, that is the word on the street, yes.
Are you looking forward to that?
I am. That'll be good fun, yeah.
Are you good at the singing?
Well, you know, I can get by. Everyone's got a voice in them. Some people just have better ones than others, don't they?
Well, I can't sing at all.
I bet you can.
I honestly can't.
But you're doing a musical?
I'm doing a musical.
On Broadway? Don't tell them this. But what do you do when it comes to the song bits?
Well, you know what Rex Harrison did, that kind of speaking thing?
Yeah.
Well, I do that. If you do it with confidence, it's all right.
It's all about confidence.
I mean, I think it's much better to be able to say, I can't sing, than to pretend that you can and make a terrible job of it, you know?
I'm worried now. I'm like, oh, I can get by, I'll be fine.
Confidence.
No, but I bet you
Confidence,
can.
yeah.
You see, you can.
No,
I know
yeah.
I can't.
Right,
I'm
yeah.
4 times your age, and I know what I can do and what I
Right,
can't.
right.
And that's one thing I can't do.
Right, OK.
So I don't try
Yeah.
to. But, nonetheless, I won the award for the Best Supporting Actress in a Musical.
What was the musical?
No, if you want to have a good time on a film, book this woman.
No,
because you love to cheer up a crew, don't you? You love to cheer up the crew if they're having a bad day.
Yes, because it's a team, and one must put oneself absolutely there and part of it.
You did the Harry Potter. How many Harry Potters did you do?
I've been in two Harry Potters.
So what's that like with all those people on the set? I mean, I know a lot of times you don't sort of cross each other on the set, you know.
Look, Harry Potter is the same as any other film when you're doing it.
Yeah.
It's afterwards that you get all the adulation and fuss and frenzy. But when you're doing it, it's just a film. And,
Just a film.
and they're lovely people. They're lovely people.
But you guys are all on the set together.
Yes.
You must have a great time together.
I like Maggie Smith.
Yeah.
She's great. I didn't like the one that died.
Richard Harris.
Richard Harris.
Yeah.
He was grumpy, but he wasn't well, so maybe that made him. Yeah. I should be kinder about it.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
But
It's
nobody
fine.
needed cheering up on the set. When they needed cheering up, when I was in Reds with Warren Beatty.
Yes.
Now he is grumpy.
He's
He really is grumpy.
Really?
And so I mooned at him.
You did?
Yeah.
Did that cheer him up?
You learn, don't you, love? And on Age of Innocence, Martin Scorsese.
Did you moon him?
No, I didn't moon him. I did these instead. Yes. It was a long day, and we'd done the costume parade, you know, at the beginning. And they were tired and a bit listless, and so...
Sorry, what are we talking about now?
Yeah.
The crew.
Oh, not the
I thought you were talking about...
They're never tired or listless.
They might list, but they don't listen. So I just flung off my brassiere.
I heard you killed 2 guys.
I wounded them. I didn't kill them.
They died with smiles on their faces.
But you don't do this with the children in Harry Potter, that's all right.
No.
No.
You have to be very careful, actually,
Yes.
with the children. And they made a rule that I had to give a penny, or maybe it was £1, I can't remember really, to the World Wildlife Fund if I swore.
That's nice.
And really, they did very well that year.
Whales were saved. And Alan, we found a nun connection from your school days. This is Carnoustie High School, but these aren't real nuns. But that is really you. Is that you?
That's me.
Big basket.
Well, you know what they say. And it was a play called Bonaventure. Yes, and it was a high school play. I had actually sexual relations with some of those nuns.
Oh, really? For real? We were struck that Louis Capaldi...
Schoolboy fumbles.
I thought you were gay.
I'm confused. Are you bi?
I'm bi.
Are you really?
So glad to hear from you.
She's interested now.
Yeah.
No, but you know, bi is interesting. Bi is interesting. But now you're married. You're not.
Now I'm married
and you're
to a man.
But you were married to a woman, weren't you? When I knew you, you were married to a girl.
Well, you know me now.
I mean, now you're not married to that lady.
No,
Married to a
not for like decades. No.
Do you feel more you now, or I mean, don't you think it's interesting when you?
Ish.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll stop talking about it. But I just think it's fascinating. I
think it's interesting that people don't talk about it more, and that if you, I think, you know, in our life in general, everybody wants things to be black and white, and sometimes they're grey, and they're grey for me. They've always been grey, and I'm determined to keep them grey. Grey, let's make them play.
Well, I agree with that.
Here's the grey. I was asking Boy George about acting, but you are acting. You're on the stage at the moment.
Yeah, I've done some theatre, and I'm doing Captain Hook right now, and I've just done 6 shows in Blackpool, which...
In Panto?
Yeah.
Oh,
brilliant. Check it out. Look, there's the... Can you see that? There's the poster.
And I'm playing the baddie, which is so thrilling, because, like, the kids just go insane. They hate you, but they love you.
Yeah.
And there's a scene where they throw these cannonballs at me, and it's just so sweet, because, like, they're not decided, because kids are brilliant. Yeah. They can see that you're not really nasty, but they're like, I don't like you. So it's quite nice to play with that, and to be booed is quite enjoyable.
How many shows a day?
2 a day sometimes.
You see, that's tough.
Yes. And also, they're in arenas. You're not in theatres.
Yeah. So
I hope you're getting
I've got
a
a really loud
shitload of
hook
money.
that looks like belongs to Liberace. I was going to bring it on, but I thought better not. Yeah.
And as a method actor, how was it working with the hook? Did you...
Do you know what? It just means you get out of a lot of things. And I can't do that. You know, you have to...
Yeah.
You know, because obviously the hat, the hook, everything's like a drama. You have to get out of the ship, and you just have to realise the ship's not changing. You have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So the more you know, in life, it's a great lesson.
Here's the thing. So, Miriam, you're very kind of embraced by establishment, but you've always been quite a wild child, I would say.
A little bit, yes. Yeah.
Well, no,
naughty. I was naughty.
Yes, because you brought our attention to this photograph. Now, what is going on? This is the 1970s, I think. Is this one of your first jobs?
Girls of slender means. I'm in the front. Behind me is Mary Tam, Patricia Hodge, and Jane Cussons, who I think is here tonight.
Where's Jane Cussons?
There she is. There.
Oh, there's Jane Cussons! Wow! Are you all in the knit?
Yes, well, what happened was we had to have a scene in which everybody stripped naked. And we were a little bit shy about it. They closed the studio, of course, and we insisted that the cameramen took off their clothes as well. And we had a photograph of ourselves covered up because it was just coming up to Valentine's Day, and then they did one as well for us.
And we've got that picture as well. This is unbelievable they did this. So this is the crew. My favourite though, if you pay attention, look how cocky John is.
Well, I think that's John Henschel who is responsible for getting us all together again. And I should mention our director, Moira Armstrong. It was just the most wonderful experience. 1976, and we are still all great friends. Love each other, don't we, Jane? Yes. It's just such a wonderful...
Jane was better now.
They were all very beautiful. They were all very beautiful girls.
Yes, you do. You look you're fabulous, yes.
She's actually single, so if anybody's interested...
I'm interested in terms of you putting your music together, because something like, you know, say The Time, open brackets, Dirty Bit, close brackets. Were you watching Dirty Dancing and kind of went, oh, yeah, I like this song, I might do something with it?
We were in Ibiza, and we were getting ready for a DJ gig, and I'm like, what? I gotta drop something for tonight. And so me and my homeboys, Ammo and Apple, homeboys, meaning people that are close to me, where I feel like...
Chums.
Like a chum, yes. So me and a few of my chums, we were chumming it up. I asked him, what are we going to play tonight? It's unexpected. And he said, we should mix something from yesterday, old school. From old school.
Right.
Yeah.
Not my elementary.
No.
Old school meaning, you know, back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's pick something from back in the day and you know, flip it up, intertwine it with today's stuff. I mean, the music. So, I say, why don't we use Dirty Dancing? And then he replies, that's crazy, we can't use Dirty Dancing. I was like, but that's the whole point.
You don't say I was like, that's the whole point.
But I'm not,
you don't say that.
I'm not gonna
You
say
say that's the whole point. You don't need like, right? By the way, everybody, please stop using the word like. I don't like it.
She feels very strongly about this.
So no, but how about if I said I like you?
That's different. You're using it as a verb.
I would say it. Usually I would be like...
I'll be like... You see, it's a habit. It's a habit.
No, it's quicker. It's like...
It's not like. It is.
Yo, what we gonna do today? I don't know what we're gonna do. So he was like... And I was like... And so then we put it on the table and it was like, BAM!
I get what you're saying.
It's like...
It's not like. It's not like.
And while we're at it, it's... With the greatest respect, it's I've got a feeling. So.
No.
I don't want to gang up.
So, Christmas for Miriam?
Well, I don't do anything. I'm Jewish, and I don't like Christmas. I think...
Speak as you're fine.
Well, I really think it's a waste of time, honestly.
I have to say, this week leading up to it, you do kind of think, oh, if only they'd cancel it. Because this week's terrible, isn't it? Do you like this week? Yes! Well, all that shopping and shit. Oh.
I like shopping for other people. I kind of get quite excited about shopping for other people. All I want is a few pairs of black socks.
Right, OK.
Do you buy people presents, or you ignore all that side as well?
I buy people presents who deserve them, but I don't...
Hey, that's what Santa does.
I don't give presents as a matter of form. No, people have to earn a present from me. You know.
Okay. So
how do we earn a present?
I'll tell you later, dear.
If we see her wearing black socks, I think we know where we're at. You had a really lovely honour from your school. Was it Oxford School?
Oxford High School.
Oxford High School. Did you go there?
I went there from 1945 to 1959.
Wow.
It's the best school in the world. That is why I talk as I talk, clearly. And I hardly ever use the word like. They named a theatre space after me, which was a real thrill. They actually wanted Maggie Smith, because she was at the school as well, Dame Maggie. And they asked me to ask Dame Maggie if she would like to give her name to this space in the school. And I asked her, you know, on their behalf, would she? And she said, no, I don't want to do that. I didn't like the school at all. So why don't you do it? You'd like that, wouldn't you? You'd do that. So they asked me, and I said yes.
It's very nice. You look beautiful tonight, but are you interested in fashion?
Oh, go on.
Well, no, but you're very put together. You're very put together tonight.
Well, I wanted to look nice because I'm selling the book. I mean, normally I come on and I just talk dirty, but tonight I wanted to look smart.
Yeah, oh, the wrong book.
The wrong book. No, I'm not interested in fashion at all.
But now, when you worked with the great Martin Scorsese, your fashion sense didn't cheer up the crew, but you did cheer up the crew.
Well, this is a story. It's a true story. You know Martin Scorsese,
I do.
of course.
Yes.
Well, I was in a film that he was directing called The Age of Innocence. A very good movie, by the
Yes,
way.
it
I hope
was.
you thought so.
Yes.
And,
Oh, no, I think.
Good. And before it started, you have to go in a sort of costume parade, and everybody looks at you to see if the costume fits the character and all that. And I was the very last person to be seen that day. It was a big cast, and loads of people, you know, Dan Day-Lewis and Michelle Pfeiffer, you know, really important people. And then there was, you know, that shoplifter, Winona Ryder. And I didn't like her. I really didn't. And there were lots of other people, you know.
She didn't like her.
Richard E. Grant, who was adorable, and you know, a lot of people, Sian Phillips, and hundreds of people, and I was the very last person. And when I got in the room, I could see they were just exhausted. The whole crew, they were slumped, they were tired, they were fed up, and I thought, I've got to do something to cheer them up, because when you see people in that state and you know you're going to be working with them, and I thought, I know what I can do. And so I stood up there and I just lifted up my top and tore off my bra and my bosoms, which are large and friendly, and I just gave them to them. And it made them happy.
Brilliant.
It was worth doing.
Now, I've seen them because...
You've seen my bosom?
Yes, do you remember when we were shooting Cold Comfort Farm,
Yeah.
the John Schlesinger movie, you got stung on one of them by a bee. When we were doing that scene outside, do you remember that?
I don't remember
that.
that.
And you just took them out and said, look! And I said to John Schlesinger, because I said, did you see Miriam just took her breasts out? He said, no, but I heard them hit the ground.
Very good. Right, Miriam, Vogue cover star. I mean, isn't that amazing?
Amazing.
And what happened? Did Edward Enninful just call you up and say, do you want to do this? Or
I got an email via my agents, and I thought it was a joke. And they said, no, really, it is, they would like to do it. And it was for gay pride.
It's beautiful as well. It's just so great.
And,
it's
they
great.
wanted gay people to be on Vogue, and so they picked me.
Amazing.
But you have to be a lesbian. And then he said to me, Tim Walker, wonderful photographer, wonderful. And then he said, would you do a nude shot? No, honestly, nude. I mean... So I said, all right. And they bought a lot of Greg's buns and put them in front of my nipples. And nearly covered them.
all right, well, I think we've got it. Here we go. Okay. There she is.
It's a great photo, though, isn't it?
It is a good
It's like
photo.
a face, look.
Yes.
Amazing.
Yeah, but the buns, they don't quite cover everything, do they? Never mind. We didn't eat the
Don't
buns.
be such a killjoy.
I gave them to the crew. The buns, I mean.
Talking of hair, I read you in an interview saying that because you lost your hair quite at an early age, didn't you? How old were you?
Well, I was in my 20s when I really started to lose it. I mean, really right out of college, I started to lose my hair.
And it kind of defined the sort of parts.
It did. People thought I was older, not because of my maturity, but yes, because of my hair, or lack thereof. So, yeah, I was playing, 40-year-olds when I was in my late 20s.
But now, because in Lovely Bones, you were unrecognisable. I was saying to you earlier,
Right, yeah.
I was one of those people, I was halfway through that film, and I was just going, who the hell is that? Look, doesn't he look incredibly different? In that, people were going, yes, you're right, Graham, yes, he does.
Right.
So now, I just thought we'd try something.
Yeah?
Right? Okay. What we've done, the production team, have secreted
Oh.
A bald person.
Oh, secreted.
Secreted?
Yes.
And I know the
I got
area.
nervous.
I know the area, right?
Yeah.
But they put a wig on them. And we have to see if we can guess who's wearing a wig in this area. You'll see in a minute. Okay. So I just go up here. Okay. So it's these kind of, I think it's around here. It's clearly not you. Well, that one for free, and not you.
That man's wearing a wig.
You're going to have to be less specific.
This is our device. So I know you're probably not wearing a wig, but I just want to see this because it'll make me laugh. Okay, what's your name? Matt. This is Matt. Hang on 1 second. 1 second. Okay, so here's Matt. Is he wearing a wig? 1, 2, 3. No, he's not.
The one with the plum shirt?
Graham, when you're finished, can you put that back in my dressing room, please?
Who's wearing a wig?
I'll have it, I think.
Who's wearing a wig?
The one with the plum shirt.
Plum. This man?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can get in that far. Can you follow me?
Oh,
okay.
there's some suspicious groans.
Okay, hang on. Okay. So, 1, 2, 3. No. Not him.
Graham.
You think it's the blonde guy? Is it too much?
If you do that again, he could be in Jedwood.
The one next to him, perhaps.
Maybe the one next to him. Or
Okay,
the other,
here we go.
The other guy.
One second.
the one next to him.
I think this could be it, actually. If it's not, God.
Graham, if it's not, we can only really improve the situation.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Should we try you? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Graham, the blonde guy next to him, the next guy along.
This guy?
Yeah. That doesn't look.
Okay.
Yeah,
That looks like we could make a difference.
So. Well done, all the people. Very good.
And I'll tell you, and not being, you look much better like that.
You do, actually.
He does.
Yes. But that could have been the quality of the wig.
Yeah, I think so.
We can talk about that fans can ask you to do little messages for birthdays and things.
Yeah, well, I get paid.
I know.
Do you do them, Cameron?
Sometimes,
It's terrific.
How much do you
Paid
get
and
paid?
unpaid, either.
I do them unpaid as well, of course.
And I have to say, I don't know how much they pay you for these messages, but they are worth their weight in gold. I don't know how much someone paid for this, but money well spent. Here we go.
Here's a fart coming up, especially for you. There we go. All the best. Bye-bye.
I mean...
It is a piece of you. It really is honest. It's
How
like,
did
this
you
is
get
me.
hold of that?
You taped it and sent it out into the world.
But I sent it to a person.
Well, they put it on something else.
But how much do you get paid for that?
I charge £100, and the website, they charge, I think they get a 25% on top of that.
But
So
do you
they-
get extra for the fart, though? Because
No.
that's like, pretty major.
No, the fart is free.
When you're in an ad, do you voice an opinion on the ad, or do you
Yes.
just do? Oh, you do.
Always.
Do they welcome that opinion?
No. No, but I mean, I know better than they do. That is the truth.
Yes.
And I'm experienced, and I need to help them sometimes. The grammar is often bad.
She really doesn't want to listen to my songs.
Yes, I do. I do.
We'll get notes. We'll get notes later. Because Miriam, you were the voice of a period, weren't you?
A menstrual period.
A menstrual
yes.
period.
Yes.
Sorry, my mistake. And as an actress, how did you find that voice?
Well, You always go to the text first.
Yes.
And the text was, you didn't expect to find me on your holidays. So I thought, well, that's got to be a naughty schoolgirl. So I went, you didn't expect to find me on your holidays, did you?
Beautiful. What were you selling? Sanitary towels or something?
It was for sanitary protection. Yes,
Lovely.
for sanitary protection.
Yeah. Sales went up, I imagine. Yes. Paul, in Ghostbusters, there are lots of very impressive special effects and visual effects, but you, yourself, using a camera phone, you can create a visual effect.
I can.
Yes. Where it appears that people are seeing something they're not.
That's right.
OK, can you demonstrate it?
Sure.
Good. Can I just say, you are all going to be trying this.
Yeah, this is, I'll try it on you. That's
OK, OK.
OK.
What do I need to do?
Just sit there.
OK.
This should be fine. All right. I think we can...
Do you know what he's doing?
Yes, I do. You will in a minute, Mary. You will in a minute.
I think it should be synced to...
yeah, I think it's synced now. So here's the picture that you just took. So... It does look like a bum. Miriam looks really confused.
What happened?
Oh, yes, do Miriam. There we go.
Are you doing it with your fingers?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
What is that? It does look like a bottom.
Yes. I happen to have really sausage-looking fingers that make a really nice tush, and you can frame frame the camera so it looks like you're just basically...
I just got to know how you discovered this unique
I know, that's what I want.
of yours.
And actually, there's an even more sophisticated version.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's you can do. I mean, well, let's see if I can. I don't know if sophisticated is the right word, but.
Oh.
Yes.
Well done, Paul Rudd. Very good. Royalty. Because Prince Charles, he's written you fan letters, hasn't he?
He listened to something I'd recorded and was kind enough to praise me, and he was so right. It wasn't...
But did he invite you to Highgrove or something?
Yes, it was just a wonderful experience, and I don't know him very well, but I like him very much, and I think he's a dear. And I don't want people to be mean about him, you know?
I'll try to stop.
Will you?
I will.
Because if you don't, I'll fucking kill you!
Is it fair to say, Miriam, that you are not physically shy?
Yes, it is fair to say
Yes, I thought that was fair to say. Because what was the story? You had a run-in with... Was it painters at the BBC you had a run-in with?
Yes, my goodness, things get around. One of the problems when you're stacked, as I am, you know, and when you sort of run along a corridor... I know you're stacked, but just lower down. My stack is here.
Over. It's still the stack. It still means the same stack.
Oh, yes, it still means the same, I'm sure. And I was going past these painters, and they made fun of me because my tits were wiggling and, you know, I was running along. And I thought, I'm not having that. I'm not having that. And, you know, when you confront people, they get very nervous. Yeah. So I stopped, and I went over to them, and I looked at them, and I took their great big hands, and I put them... I put them on my great big breasts. And they were terrified. And next time, when I was going back along the corridor, they were painting. I didn't say a word.
Miriam Margolyes, is this it now? Have you been banned from daytime television?
Well, I said twat or twat, and apparently it's one of the worst things you can say.
Is it?
Yeah, but well, they sent me a list of the things...
And you memorised it?
Well, one of the words on it was one I had never heard of. I don't know if you have.
What was it?
It was munter. Munter. Have you ever heard of that word?
How do you spell it?
M-U-N-T-E-R.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know where it originates from, but I think it means an unattractive woman.
Yeah. Or I didn't know it was gender specific. I think it can be. I think it can be either. I think it can be both.
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Well, has anybody heard it in the audience?
Oh, wow. Lovely crowd. Yes, we've all been called that. Yes.
What was the TV show?
It was called This Morning.
Oh. Yeah.
It still is.
Yeah. You've been quite bossy with audiences. Was it your Dickens? Was it your one-woman Dickens show?
Yes. I think it was... No, I think it was something in Australia I did. I can't actually remember what it was. But I was very good. And, and everybody stood up in the audience, except this one woman in the front row. And I just said, why aren't you standing up? She said, and good on her, she said, I stood up for Derek Jacobi. And that put me in my place.
Or did you let her sit there, then?
Well, what could I do? I wasn't going to haul her to her feet. But you should never do that. You should just, whatever the audience gives you, be grateful, and that's it, you know. And I know that's true. But I just thought, how could she not stand up when everybody else in the theatre was standing up?
Yeah, because then she's making a point.
Making a point.
She's making a point. And I said, well, I think it's very rude of you.
Maybe she couldn't stand up.
No, she got up to go out.
The beard, is that a lockdown beard? Or
It was sort of, but I did a series in LA, which I just got back from, and I was playing a real character who had this beard, so I thought I'd well known for my immersion into characters, so I grew the beard so I could be like the character.
Wow, well, it suits you. It looks like you very much.
Well, I remember when you didn't have a beard.
That's true. I wasn't born with it.
When did you start?
I grew this beard, I think, maybe 9 years ago, something like that.
And you decided to keep it?
I think I know where this is going. Yes, Miriam, I did.
I like it, don't you?
I do. Yeah, anywho, which man. Elton John, of course, had a usual after-show party featuring all the biggest stars in Hollywood. Now, apparently, though, Katie was denied entry into the party by a couple of bouncers, by which I mean her tits got stuck in a door.
I feel very embarrassed, but I have to ask, who is Katie Price?
I'm very well. Before I explain, do you know who Katie Price is?
Not really, no. I was just going along.
She used to be Jordan. Do you know Jordan?
The river?
She does look like she's rolled in a mud bed, but no.
I don't know.
No, she was a glamour model, and now she's a hugely successful businesswoman and novelist.
That makes sense. I don't know whether that tells the whole story. I don't know whether you've really nailed it.
But that's usually a natural progression.
No, I just wondered, because it's unusual for somebody who perhaps is a glamour model to be a novelist. That's unusual.
It is unusual.
I'll have what she's having.
You already have had some of it. Miriam, you talk about your partner, Heather, who you've been together with, what, 50 years?
54.
54 years. But weirdly, you're together, you are, you know, you're married and everything, but you don't spend that much time together.
We live apart because she's an academic, a very brilliant woman, and she works on Indonesian history. So she lives in Amsterdam and I live in London. I can't live in Amsterdam because I can't work there.
Yeah.
So, but I live here. But now I think we want to live together. I really do want to live with her because we're old and we haven't got much time left and it's silly to be apart. Have you got a partner?
I'm not saying. I've got Inyon with someone, though.
Oh, that's good. But don't waste time.
No,
don't
totally
waste
no.
time. And you've been married now for a year.
Bit over a year, yes.
And it's going well.
So far. Don't jinx it, Miriam.
God forbid.
You were interested in art as... Were you a teenager when you worked as a life model?
When I was at school, I earned some money as a nude model. And I wrote to Augustus John, who was a very great painter that I saw on television being interviewed. And I offered myself as a model to him. And for some reason, my parents allowed me to do it. I don't know why.
So they sent you packing off to Augustus John's house by yourself?
Yes, they took me there and dropped
Where
me
was
at the
it?
door in Fordingbridge in Hampshire. So I just had a pair of knickers and a top and, you know, my school uniform, I think, or something like that.
What were your parents thinking?
I don't know, because they were very respectable, believe me. And Augustus John then was about 87 or 88, I think. And it's not often that an 88-year-old will see a nude girl of 17, you know, in his own home. And he said, come in. He's a great big fellow in a boiler suit. And he really did. And
I see your parents driving away.
they left me. They went. And he said, right, take off your clothes. And so I did, quite quickly and decorously. And then, this was the bit that was a bit unexpected, he looked at me, sort of smoothing his beard. Very nice, very nice. And then he said, climb that ladder. Well, I mean, I don't normally climb ladders clothed, but never mind. But anyway, I sort of went up the ladder, and well, not much you could do on the ladder, you know. Sort of one foot on one rung and the other foot on the other rung, so I was a bit spread out, you know. And and he drew me, and then I came down the ladder.
Oh, dear. And while this was going on, 17 you were.
Yes.
How old were you? You were 16.
Oh, when I went to... I was sent on an exchange course to Paris when I was 16, and my family were very worried about me. They thought I was living a life that was too louche. And they sent me to a very respectable family in Paris, just on the Bois de Boulogne. And the first afternoon I got there, the madame of the family said, "Oh, Rupert, you would maybe like to take a walk now in the Bois for the afternoon?" And I said, "OK." And I went out into the Bois. And I'd been living a very bad life in London before. My mother was adamant that I was, you know, going to pull myself together and get everything right. But nobody knew that the Bois de Boulogne, which is the big main park in Paris, is the sex centre of France. Not only sex, drugs, everything. Everything you want bad can happen there. There's all the bad policemen, all the Brazilian she-men, all the hookers, all the... everything. So I was walking through the Bois de Boulogne, and I came across this van. And it was like juggling up and down. And inside there was... This is a fascinating van. And then this door opened and this woman got out, this 6-foot woman with huge black hair, a big fur coat, enormous breasts in a kind of tiger skin bikini. and she went to the back of the car and she opened the door, and the whole of this van inside was a kind of a boudoir. It had a glitter ball on the ceiling, it had tiger skin walls, and had a pink bed on the floor. And then she stood beside it and she saw me and said, "Hey, you want sugar?" And she opened her coat, and in her bikini she had the most enormous thing. Penis. And as if that wasn't enough, because she obviously saw my look of horror, she said, "And I got sugar too." And she turned around. She had these little old kind of goat's haunches. And I became friends with this girl. And she was called Delphine, and my whole exchange course I spent sitting in the front of her truck while she beat men up in the back of it. And it was an extraordinary trip, really. I didn't learn much French. Then she died. I mean, it had an awful ending, the story. She moved her truck in the end to... she decided to get out of Paris. Yeah. She thought she'd go and work in the countryside, and she got shot by farmers.
I don't know why that's sort of funny.
It's not. No, it's not. Yeah, she was found shot by farmers. Well, riddled with bullets, anyway. No, it's not funny.
It's not funny. No, it's not funny.